Okay, we're going to get into suffixes. Now, we've learned about consonant suffix S and how that makes things plural, but we are going to be focusing on vowel suffix ed. Now, we call this a vowel suffix because it starts with a vowel, and that's going to come in handy later when we're learning about adding suffixes and spelling. So right now, we're just kind of saying it's a vowel suffix ed. Now, a suffix is when we are adding suffixes to root words and they change the meaning of the word. So our vowel suffix ed, it makes things past tense. Things happened in the past. The tricky part about our vowel suffix ed is it actually makes three sounds. It makes the t, d, and ed. Sometimes we say id instead. And there are rules to when it makes these three sounds. So we're going to go through them. When we hear like jumped, it's making that t sound because the p is unvoiced. If you say jump, you don't really hear the p in your throat. It doesn't move. So this is an unvoiced. Or we can say the last sound is motor off. So like jump, mashed, checked, fished. But we do want to reiterate to the students that if it is past tense, it's always going to have that ed. It's never going to have a t at the end. A past tense verb always has the ed. Even if they hear t, it's always going to be ed. That makes it past tense. Now we're going through the different pronunciations of it, because when they're reading, we don't want them to say jumped-ed or fished-ed. So again, ed at the end of a word, at the end of an unvoiced sound like p or sh or k, says t. Now, when at the end of a voiced sound, so filled, you have voiced, or we say motor on, you're going to hear the d. So filled, yelled, buzzed, grilled. And those are all flosserals. So we're just adding the vowel suffix ed to those. And we're adding ed. We're not just adding d. Again, ed makes the word past tense. And finally, we have id or ed. Depending on if we're being lazy or not, to be honest. But it's going to say, like, ended, id, rested, sanded, lasted. And if you'll notice, we write, it's pronounced id or ed after d's or t's, if the word ends with a d or a t. So that affects our words. So again, we are learning about the vowel suffix ed, and it says t, d, or ed, and it means past tense. It's making things happen in the past. So as students are reading it, Jack filled, because it's unvoiced, the cup to the rim. Bill fished. It's a voice, so we're going to say it differently, with his dad at the pond. So those are just some helpful things. Now, when you guys are practicing on making things past tense at home, just remind them that spelling them, it's always going to be ed. I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, let us know. We look forward to learning about vowel suffix ed.